I'm probably only gonna get into one video. Then we can talk about Assassin's Creed because I only have like almost 25 hours in the game, and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, I'll give you my thoughts on the game. Let's see what he has to say.
How dare you take a lukewarm stance on this? You need to pick a side. Listen to both sides. Most of the time, both sides are wrong. How the hell did this make it out of our company? So I'm not really sure what to think anymore. I managed to make everyone angry with what I did with ACS. Nobody's happy.
How did you do that? What did you do?
So I went into Assassin's Creed Shadows, you know, as a lukewarm Assassin's Creed fan. And I went in specifically, I didn't do any sponsor streaming. Ubisoft has given up on me. They didn't even offer me a sponsor stream for it. And I went in for myself and I said, okay, I want to see if this game is enough for me as somebody who is relatively tired of the AC franchise. I want to see if there was enough in there to bring me back. You know, maybe it's going to be another Black Flag. Maybe it'll get me back into Assassin's Creed. So I played it for a stream and it was okay. And then the next day I started another stream of it. And about halfway through it, you know, I felt like I was starting to get the vibe of it. And I was starting to realize that I didn't think it was really going to have what I wanted. And I turned off Assassin's Creed and started playing Rise of the Ronin. Now, what I did was I made a thoughts video. I said in that thoughts video,
well, that was your problem.
Here's the deal.
You have an opinion on
I was like, here's the deal. I was like, the game is fine. It's not doing enough for me. Like, you know, it's got a few problems here and there. I ran into a few bugs. Game is fine, but it did not pull me back in. And you know, there's a whole other discussion, like, can Ubisoft afford fine? But, you know, I was like, yeah, the game's okay, game's fine, but it's not fine enough for me to want to play. I'm going to play Rise of the Ronin. I made a comment that I had not really been following the controversy with the historical stuff, but like, I didn't really care personally. That doesn't really affect me. So, you know, whatever. I heard Ubi had made like maybe a claim about it, but I didn't really know too much. And I was like, okay, I'm going to move on and that's done.
Yeah, with the whole historical stuff and all that, like they should have never said anything. Okay, I don't know why that came out of their mouths. Like, you could have been like, I don't know, like we're not gonna be, you know, to the T exactly accurate to these characters. Well, to Yasuke as a character. It's what is it called when it's like not like historical accurate, but it's like you're still going down that road, but you're kind of changing stuff a little, you know. Like they came out and said like this is gonna be historical accurate and everything. We're gonna be faithful to Yasuke. They should never said anything about that at all. Then with the whole other controversies and stuff about like the Chinese government getting mad over it, like
managed to make every side angry. The people that like Assassin's Creed were yelling at me for not giving it a good enough thing of being a hater. The other side was telling me like, how dare you take a lukewarm stance on this? You need to take a side. It's not fine what Ubisoft is doing. This is garbage. And so they all got furious at me. Then there was a third group that was apparently, I said in the video, like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but I heard about the historical controversy. One thing I didn't know about the historical controversy was apparently like Ubisoft really came out saying, we're going to try to make this historically accurate.
Yeah.
So, kind of like with
no sense.
The PoE devs we've talked about in the past, like sometimes say like you should have just not said that and just done your own thing because then you set expectations. Like that's what happened there. And I definitely did not realize it was to that degree. I looked into it a little bit more after seeing some of the comments on the video, and yeah, Ubi probably shouldn't have said any of that. Like they kind of really shot themselves in the foot, like trying to do this historical angle, because all they did was set expectations that they're not gonna be able to meet. Even with the canon mode, you're gonna piss people off. So anyway,
in the old,
that's that. So with in one, by trying this game and then
the old game has like historical figures in it, but they never like went out and said like, oh, we're gonna be accurate. It's gonna be, you know, like with these other characters.
And kind of like just being like, here's my honest opinion on it. I have made the entire internet angry.
It happens.
Here's the big thing. Like, and people keep telling me like, pick a side, right? Like, why are you being so diplomatic? All of this stuff. Yeah. I don't think people understand. I'm like one of the only streamers that didn't do a sponsored stream for it. Like they've already given up on me. I have no reason to appease anyone. I have no reason to pick a side. If I wanted to pick a side, I'd pick a side. But the point is that it is a fine game. It ran well. It's very pretty. Everything it was trying to do, it does. Like you can't look at the game and not be like, it's running. Like I played 10,000 plus games over my life. There's some really shitty games out there.
He's right. There's some really, really, really shitty games out there. But like people, I don't know, like in this age, like in the era we're in, like you just can't be in the middle. But I think people in the middle probably like the most honest. I may be a little biased because, you know, I don't like to pick a side because I know like some games have some good stuff about them. Some games, then on the other side, it has some bad stuff, some terrible stuff. So like sometimes you just can't say like, yeah, this game is total dog shit when it's not. It's just, it's okay. It's fine. You know, maybe it's good, but you know, just saying it's good, that doesn't mean like it's great. It's not game of the year contender. It's like none of this. That's good. I'll probably come back to the game later or something, but right now, like, there's an even better game to play or something else to do. I can go outside and touch grass. But, you know, people don't like that. It's like you absolutely have to hate this game because everything about it is dog shit. You know, it's hot dog water from Arizona. Or, you know, it's the most perfect game and nothing's wrong with the game at all. It's like, no, like, you know, not for me personally, I don't think there's a perfect game out there. I mean, there's something, maybe you can call it nitpicking or whatever. Like, it's something I could find, a system, a mechanic in the game that I just don't like, you know? So, like, what am I doing?
There. Like broken design does not work. Maybe it's just too long. Maybe, you know, like there's thousands of reasons that games are just not good. The time I played this, I didn't really run into anything that makes me go, this is a bad game, outside of a few bugs, of course. I just didn't really run into anything that was like, I need to keep playing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like people who are just like totally jumping on me for saying the game is fine. It's like, I don't really understand when you see a game like this, you know, there's probably thousands of people who made it possible, from level designers, artists, sound engineers, musicians, all these people. Like, I would argue most of them did a fine job with this game. Like, of course, there's some decisions at the top and monetization and all sorts of problems and, you know, that we could get into. But it's really weird to me how much people want others to not pass on the game, but to actively hate the game.
Sure, yeah.
Like
yeah.
they're not happy unless you feel negatively about everything the product is. Not just a part of it, not a specific thing. They don't want to have a discussion about what could be better. They just want you to feel the way they do. And that's their goal. And that's unfortunate, man.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, that's the state.
I mean, this is coming from somebody who didn't even who put the game down. You know, and I'm still just like, it's unfortunate that we can't like.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people just want. Just like validation. They want validation. I think this game sucks. I want you to say it too. You know, I want to hear it. Then once they hear it, you know, it's all good. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that feels like this, you know. And on the other hand, when somebody is the opposite of that, you know, you're in their eyes, you're trying to say they're wrong. No, a lot of times it's not. It's like, okay, that's your opinion, you know, that's what you feel, you know, you're not wrong, okay. You're not wrong about it, but, you know, I just feel differently. Like, yes, you have some valid points. Yeah, that is terrible about the game, but what about this? You know, well, you don't like that? Well, I do. It's all opinions at the end of the day. You know, some people just can't accept other people's opinion about something, and we see it with this game. And I'm tell y'all now, like, you're probably not gonna like my review if you absolutely hate this game, because, you know, I'm probably gonna ride the fence a little.
vocally talk about why we don't like it instead of just vocally hate it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that would make things move so much in a better direction. Because this isn't it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
it's unstoppable force meets a movable object. The older I get, the more I realize how insanely important it is to listen to both sides and come up with your own opinion. And the more you do that, the more you realize that most of the time, both sides are wrong. Like, most of the time, both sides have like some major fundamental issues in some degree that you may agree or not agree with. And you don't want to like wholesale out on each one of them. Like, there's so much more nuance than people give this stuff credit for. And it's really unfortunate how many people want to stomp that nuance out.
It's exhausting nowadays.
It is.
Just talking about not just games, but anything. Like, you have to be vehemently for it or vehemently hating it. There's no room for anything in the middle. Everything from politics to food to movies to just like, there's no middle anymore. Everyone's sensationalism. They want to like you to either rave about a game or just trash it down. No walk in the middle of the road. No like slightly liking something. No like saying something's not for you. You just have to like be passionate about it because they want that like that dopamine hit from people, like getting them either angry or super excited
or agreeing with them or reinforcing their opinion.
Yeah,
Being
reinforce
like,
their
yeah,
opinion.
I am right in how I feel about this. And the worst part is all the discussion, all the really interesting stuff, all the stuff that could make these games better, all of that takes place in the middle when those sides are talking to each other. Like that's where the discussion is.
Exactly. That's why I don't lean to one side, because the people who can actually influence the game and make the game better or anything better are the people in the middle who can look at, okay, you over here, I hear what you're saying, you know, that's valid, what you're saying, you know, but what about this, you know, kind of like combating like their thoughts, kind of not just agreeing with them, but kind of like, you know what I mean. Then, you know, you got the other side who may do the same thing, opposite, whatever. You know, those people in the middle who can look at both sides and be like, yeah, I see your point, but what about this and what about that? Okay, you know.
Discussion doesn't happen with each side yelling at each other from their side. Like, it happens when people come together and are like, okay, I understand you don't like it. Why don't you like it? Well, I like it because of this. You don't like it because of that. Let's talk about how we can get better. What can change? You know, like, so they're shooting themselves in the foot by doing that. Like, we're just going to keep doing this cycle. Like, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Hate it.
I do feel there is almost like this game can be fit into the same box that like Call of Duty is. There's like a huge group of people that just buy it because they want that experience, and then they'll never engage in everything we were just talking about. No,
I'm the exact same way with Yakuza. Like some you know, there's and it's interesting because like this has brought up a whole side of like when is it not okay for a game this expensive with this many resources to be okay for a lot of people, and that is like the other side of the argument where games like, what about Borderlands? Where it's like, if they were to change too much Borderlands, people would stop playing it. And there's also people about Assassin's Creed that are raving about this game being exactly how it is. So it's like, you know, for someone like me who is going, this is not enough at all, you know, what about the other side where it's like people are like, yeah, but don't change it any more than it is. It's like, where do we go from there?
I've always wished they would just do a modern day Assassin's Creed with no animus, just like to try it out to see like if you're fighting the Templars, but in modern day city with modern day tech and stuff.
I think
Just
that
to
was
see-
Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs
I
might
think
have
that was their test.
been that test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
You know, I actually thought about this too. Like, what if they said like Assassin's Creed like in a more modern setting? But yeah, it is just Watch Dogs. I mean, I could see like maybe like something in the far future or something, and like we can't use guns for some reason, because like how you gonna assassinate? I mean, I guess you can just have a gun. Your enemies have a gun, like, but then at that point it's not Assassin's Creed, because what's the point of the hidden blade? Like, it wouldn't make sense in a modern setting. It just wouldn't work. But I can see like in the far distant future, something happens. You can't really use technology like that. It's not much technology, or you know, guns are very, very rare, or you can't use guns at all for some reason. They're all gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take the wind out of your sails there, because I agree. I think that like having like an actual modern day AC would be cool, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we ever get there.
Yeah,
I wonder if they
I
would
had the
do
same
that.
exact thought. Like, what
Yeah.
would that even look like? Would they just use
You'd have to use
guns,
tech.
or
Yeah,
would
you'd
it be
have to
tech
use, like,
related? Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't just ignore that stuff in that day and age, right? So post-apocalyptic AC. See, that way you could go like past
So
all the
the
gadgets. There's been a
Templars
big,
won?
yeah, exactly. Templars
they got
win.
the Apple?
Nukes go
Okay.
off. Apple is used, and then like it's super futuristic, but takes place in like a dystopian world. So you can't use
Okay.
guns and stuff because all the bullets have already been shot. They're not making more. Got to use melee weapons and stuff, but it's all futuristic and sci-fi. I'm there for it.
Okay.
numbers are
Sounds pretty
they
cool.
said something along the lines of bigger than Odyssey and Origins. They didn't mention Valhalla. I think Valhalla was
They
like
said it's
perfect
on the
storm.
way to be the biggest Assassin's Creed release.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Valhalla is the highest grossing and selling Assassin's Creed game so far, but that has a lot to do with the pandemic. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna a lot with that. When people were inside and had extra money to spend, really didn't have to go to work. You know, we had a stimulus check and all that. We had a little extra money. Some people saved up, but that has a lot to do with it. Now, I think if Assassin's Creed Valhalla didn't come out when it did, like sometimes after then Shadows came out, I think Shadows probably would have been big, maybe, if it didn't have all the controversy with it and they didn't say what they said, maybe. But either it's gonna probably be the biggest, or like it's gonna be second to Valhalla. But we have to see on that one.
Got it.
Here's the important thing that we need to understand, though, that everyone needs to understand. Nobody who says any of that has any idea what a success looks like to Ubisoft.
Right.
So, like, it does. How much Ubisoft says they've raised means nothing. What's on the Steam chart means absolutely nothing. What matters is what Ubisoft has told.
And can I say they haven't released the numbers, like the actual sales for Shadows. They said players. Now you have to remember the game's on Steam, their launcher. I think on Epic Game Store, PlayStation, Xbox. But you have to remember Game Pass. Game Pass is on Xbox, so a lot of people probably just booted up the game from Game Pass on Xbox and PC, because we do have Game Pass on PC. So players couldn't really, directly reflect sales, because a lot of people probably just played it on Game Pass, or maybe some other means to get the game and play it.
Their investors and how much the delta is between the actual and that. It's all that matters, and no one knows that. So anyone who's shouting like, "Oh, look at this, Ubisoft's gonna die," or "Oh, look at this, they're totally fine," none of them know what they're talking about. So like, we don't even know what 2 million players means.
Yeah.
They didn't say 2 million sales. So it's like we don't, like, everything is obfuscated right now. We all just kind of got to sit tight. It's probably going to take at least a couple weeks or even a couple months until we hear anything from Ubi actually, if this is okay or not okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Also, someone's bringing up a really good point in chat. It's like sales could mean nothing if the microtransactions sell well enough. And,
Totally,
and that's absolutely a reality. 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's, again, none of the public information now matters to any argument.
Yeah.
If you look into it.
Yeah. The Ark DLC trailer is apparently entirely made through generative AI, I guess.
This is getting weird.
Okay.
All right, is that
The
it?
stuff from this.
Flippers made out of
Okay, is that it? So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those games where you just can't be in the middle. Like they said, like, you have to totally hate the game or like the game. And I'm definitely gonna have some people not like my opinions on the game. Okay, first of all, that's all I gotta say. I know. I'm gonna give you a little teaser right now. I like the game. Okay, I think the game is more than fine for Assassin's Creed game. I think it's good. Now, do I think it's great? we'll talk about that in the next video. But give these guys a like if you want. I like the video, this discussion. I'll give him I'll subscribe to him too. Subscribe to him, and the link to the video and to his channel will be down there in the description. And if you want, give me a like too. Subscribe and ring that bell if you want to, or give the video a dislike. I really don't care. And let's talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows in the comments. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Peace.